Let's go, it's the Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. Whitey Show. So Fable 3 starts off basically your brother is a gigantic asshole, and he basically is a tyrant, and he's fucking up the kingdom that you live in, and you want to stop him, so you start a revolution. The game changes throughout the course, and I don't want to give spoilers away, but he is not even the main enemy. So the game does a fairly good job of keeping the story under wraps. And actually, the story is not bad this time. It's nothing amazing. It feels like a fairy tale, but it works actually pretty well. And my favorite thing about the story is that your main character has a fucking voice. Thank you. So whether you pick the girl or a guy, you'll hear some lines from them. Not enough in my opinion. It should be more like Mass Effect, where you hear a lot. But you hear a fair amount, and that actually brings your character. You actually care for him or her. So I thought that was really cool addition to the story. Overall, the story ends on an okay note, more like what the F note. But overall, the story itself throughout the whole game was pretty good. The pacing was good, and I really have no complaints about the story. And most of the voice acting is top notch. So overall, Fable 3 actually has a better story than Fable 1 and 2 in my opinion. Fable 3 definitely looks better than Fable 2. It looks more realistic. The characters are taller and less like small and fat and cartoonish. And, well, the environments definitely don't look as shiny as the last game. They look better detailed. Overall, I say the graphics are better than 2. The thing I didn't really like about this game is it seems like it has a lot of graphical errors. Like when you're loading, a lot of the things load very slow, especially the environments and some of the character models. Not a good sign. And also, it is Fable, so they don't look realistic. They look better than Fable 2's bullshit cartoon characters, but they do not look something like Gears of War. Not that Gears of War is very good artistically, I'm just saying that it doesn't look real at all. So that's my only problem with Fable. Overall, besides the graphical errors and that it still looks a little cartoonish, the graphics themselves are pretty top notch, and especially for how big the game is, they definitely provide tons to look at. And it's a big game. Remember, you're going through a lot of cities, a lot of people on things, so you can't expect something like God of War in a game that's 10 times bigger than God of War. Gameplay largely stays the same in terms of combat. I think they improved the combat and made it the best the series has so far. Basically, you can use magic as much as you want. There's no limit, and that was a cool thing that was in Fable 2 that's in here. I'm pretty sure Fable 2 had that too. You can combine magic in this game like fire and electricity, electricity and vortex, vortex and push, so on. And that really does make the game more fun, so you can combine your different powers and you don't feel like you're limited to one magic anymore. The sword combat is similar to the second one, but it feels a little more redefined, and there are finishers now, so I thought that was definitely a cool addition to the game, like jumping on an opponent's face and snapping their neck is definitely cool. That sounded more perverted than cool, but you know what I'm saying. One of the really cool improvements is that there's a lot of side quests in this game that do not suck. Like Fable 2 had a lot, but they sucked. In this game, you can do missions like going to find a prisoner or helping this old lady find the dog. Those kind of suck. But then you have ones where you actually helping the undead have like throw a party and stuff like that is more humorous and fun, but it's actually pretty challenging because you're going to fight a bunch of enemies in most of these side quests. So that was really cool addition. Definitely helps make the game longer and get to do more, and you get more money because money is very important in this game. And my favorite feature of the game is buying shit. I love to buy stuff in video games and make money because I like doing that in real life. So what you can do in this game is gather money, buy houses and storefronts, and then you could use them to make money on a daily basis. Definitely a cool feature in this game. I mean, it was all the way in Fable 1, but I think they definitely improved in this game. And it's definitely a cool feature to buy houses and make money. I love money. You can get married and all that good shit too. So that's definitely from the other Fables. And it's fun. And you can get married with your friends online. So that's pretty cool too. What sucked is that there's a lot of glitches in this game. A lot. I'm talking about, once again, your fucking gold trail that leads you to the missions disappears on you. I got married to a character in the game while my friend was in my game. I was getting married to an AI, and instead they married me and my friend. It's retarded. I didn't know what the game was doing, and it obviously the game didn't know what it was doing. So there's definitely glitches in the game like that. Other ones like getting stuck on a ledge and then I had to restart the whole mission. Things like that should not happen in a game with this high budget. So glitches definitely bring down the gameplay. And overall, I felt that the pacing was good up until, you know, the third act, or I guess the final act, and it just slowed down and it wasn't really that fun and definitely not as good as the first two acts. So I did like the gameplay section, but the glitches and the last act definitely bring it down. But I want to stress that it is probably the best Fable gameplay in my opinion. It just needed more polishing to get all the glitches out. For the most part, I really enjoyed Fable. It's an entertaining tale. It's funny. It could be, you know, dark at times, but overall, it's fairly light type of Fable adventure. It's like the story, the fairy tale. So it's definitely a fun game. The combat's improved. The magical spells are as best as they can be in the series, in my opinion, and it actually has a story that doesn't completely suck like Fables 1 and 2. So overall, I did enjoy it. I felt that the game could have finished on a much higher note, but it did its job. It is definitely up there with one of the better games this year. It didn't disappoint me. It actually surprised me. I expected it to be as good as Fable 2 at best or worse, because Fable 2 didn't really impress me despite the score I gave it when it first came out to help defend against the fanboys. But I'll be honest, Fable 3 is a fun game. Probably my second favorite Fable. I still think the first one was more magical and just more fun, and I definitely had the best time with it. But Fable 3 proves that it definitely can improve from its last one. So overall, Fable 3 is definitely a game worth checking out if you're a Fable fan or an RPG action fan.